Hello, welcome to Tim's Inner Monologues number 30. Now, I originally wanted to do this outside. Maybe in hindsight, I shouldn't have been lazy and have done it in the morning. I wanted to do it in the rain because ambience and everything. And unfortunately, I can't. My house is very busy at the moment with full of people. So I don't want it to be interrupted and you hearing background noises that you shouldn't. So if you can, you should be able to hear the rain that's outside my window. If you can't, then it doesn't really matter anyway. So, welcome to Tim's Inner Monologues number 30. Didn't really think I would get to 30. And thanks for 20 subscribers. So, yeah. Anyway, let's begin. Tim's Inner Monologues number 30. What it means to be a man. Now, I was on YouTube earlier today and it was talking about the sexual revolution and the collapses of it. And it talked about male suicide for a while. And it said this. It said, male suicide is at the highest it's ever been since statistics, for the sole purpose that men no longer have a reason to be men anymore. And they're a cog in this sort of genderless, what's the word? Genderless sort of machine. Genderless cog machine. And they have no purpose. They have nothing to strive for. No one tells men what to do, or how to act, or how to feel, or what to believe anymore. And it's, sorry if I'm constantly looking away, just on my computer. And it's constantly this idea that men have nothing left for them. So of course, when a man gets depressed, because male depression comes from the fact they don't have a purpose in life most of the time. I mean, you see army veterans and so forth. Yes, they struggle with PTSD and so on, but their main cause is that they had this whole entire army life, but they have nothing to go back to. They have no life outside of the army. They have no purpose. And this is where all the problems sort of stem in. This is where the majority, and I say majority, probably like 95% of men kill themselves, is because they have no purpose. Men have no purpose. And the sexual revolution, feminism, has done a fantastic effort in destroying it, in making men believe that they're women and women believing they're men, and that we don't have significant differences. I mean, if I was to grab, for example, my mother, and you were to put me and her side by side, there are clear differences that distinguish between me and her, physically, mentally, emotionally. This isn't a gotcha moment. This isn't a, oh, you're transphobic or whatever nonsense you'll spill out. No, men and women, biologically and psychologically, are wired differently to do two things. Men are created to protect and to produce children. Women are created to be nurturing and to deliver children. This is it. If you're going to sit there and go, oh, well, women believe in this and this and this and that and that and that, you're an idiot, because if you look at all of biology, if you look at every single animal, that 99% of the time, apart from like genderless worms, if I ever come up across with somebody and they come out of a question and go, yeah, what about the genderless bacteria? You're an idiot. And I have no interest in having a conversation with you. Anyway, 99% of animals, mammals, birds, insects, whatever it is, the woman will deliver the babies through eggs, natural birth, whatever. And the man is the one that basically gives the child. Right? Because obviously without a man and a woman, you can't have children. I'm sorry, but women cannot have children by themselves. Oh, but actually they had a lesbian. You're an idiot. It's just not the case. So men and women are primarily done for two reasons. And this has been since the whole of time. Now, when you take away the man's two main things, which is to lead, or then if you go, oh, well, women can lead too, well, then who went to wars? Who died in World War II and World War I predominantly? Who fought for their country? Let me ask you a question. If somebody came into your house now and tried to kill you, who's most likely going to step in the way of that? Your man. But men have been told that it's a bad thing. It's a negative thing to have. That we shouldn't be protecting. It's bad to do so. That women who are smaller, less stronger, and more physically vulnerable should be the ones to protect us. Us, men. That we should be the ones where we should be allowed to just take the back seat and go, can't be bothered, let the woman decide. It's just not the case. Men have been taught, men, since the dawn of time, have always been the ones that lead. They lead the armies, they lead the family, they lead the companies. The majority of bosses, men, dads, are very important, and they're always the leader of men. If you're going to sit there and go, oh, well, men don't need to lead, well, then you can destroy the majority of the companies, you can destroy the majority of the army, you can destroy the family, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to destroy the family, because without a man, the family crumbles. And if you're going to sit there and go, oh, that's not actually true, I was raised, I don't care. The statistics clearly show that families without a father present statistically is going to fail. Yes, of course, there's the anomaly where a guy, maybe the father died or the father left or whatever, and the sons come out just fine. But statistically shown, families without men, strong men, available men, crumble. The men go to prison, the women become prostitutes and sell their own body in the field of this emptiness that they don't get from a father. How many women you know have daddy issues because their father was never present in their life, or there's problems with the father, and you know her to be promiscuous because she goes from man to man to man to get this feeling that the father was never able to give her. Homosexuality is rampant in single family homes because there's not a father figure to sit there and instruct the child what to do and what not to do. Transgenderism is the same. Even suicide. Suicide is an awful thing, and even out of all the mental problems and physical problems that come with it, you're giving the woman who's given birth to the child and has to nurse them, also has to take care of them and provide for them. You make the woman, the mother, into a man, almost. And then you wonder why the woman can never get a husband again, because it's so difficult, because she's been basically programmed to be somewhat of a man. So, that's basically the parenthesis, beginning, what it means to be a man. And to be a man are three things. If we look at the Bible, it is to lead our families to sainthood. This is what we are told at the beginning of our say, that and every marriage prep, that your goal as a father, if God allows you to have children, is to lead them all to sainthood. It's not to lead yourself to sainthood. It's not to lead your one son to sainthood. It's to lead your whole family to live the most holiest of lives. There is nothing else. God's not gonna look at you and go, wow, you made a lot of money. You get the biggest tier in heaven. No. God isn't going to sit there and go, wow, you're able to buy all the cars for your children. Wow. Okay, you get to be the top of the top. No, it's never the case. The number one goal is to lead your family to sainthood. It is to protect your children and your family. Because, why? Well, you're a man. It's what men are supposed to do. Men have forgotten these things. We're supposed to protect, we're supposed to lead, we're supposed to take control. You can't tell me that in World War I and World War II, you had kids as young as 12 go to the army, lie about their age, tell them that they were 16 or 18, go into the army, and then die for their own country and their mothers. You're telling me that 100 years ago, not even 100 years, 80 years ago in World War II, 80, 90 years ago, kids as young as 12 would go in, lie, tell them that they're 16 or 18, and then go, I want to fight in the war. And now we have 12-year-olds who are addicted to vapes and they can't do anything. This is it. Men are called to lead their families to sainthood, to protect and be the leader of the home. That is it. A perfect example, and I would say the best father figure in the world, is Saint Joseph. Saint Joseph was given a very, very difficult task of raising up Jesus Christ. But yet he did so. When Jesus was caught teaching in the synagogue for 3 days, and they found him, and they brought him back, Joseph's goal was to teach Jesus, was to raise Jesus. I really hope I'm not saying a heresy here. Was to, lead the family, Saint Joseph, Mother Mary, and Jesus, until Jesus became older and then he preached and was crucified. This is the importance. The greatest male saint is a father, and the greatest female saint is a mother. It is so important to be a man. And you might sit there and go, well, how do I become a man? Well, the first thing is you must understand where your weaknesses are. You must look at yourself with all the weaknesses that you have. Maybe it's addiction. Maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe you're not in the best shape that you possibly are. Maybe you are unhappy with your current financial situation. Whatever it may be, you must look at your situation and analyze what you could do better. Imagine that you had kids to take care of, tiny little kids. What would you do for those kids? And then you should act on it. For example, fathers shouldn't be out of shape. They should be in well shape. I'm not saying be a six-pack with massive arms and you're blasting steroids every day. I'm saying that they should be in relative shape to protect their family. If you gas out by climbing up a staircase or going for a quick jog or whatever, how do you expect to protect your children against a home intruder, against predators? For example, if you live out in the wilderness, it could be against coyotes, foxes, wolves, bears. If you live in the city, it could be against thieves, murderers, gangs. How do you expect to protect yourself? How do you expect to protect your family? So the first thing you should do, you should get yourself, analyze what your weaknesses are, and fix them. Fix them to the best of your ability. Get in shape, be physically fit, learn how to protect yourself. I'm not telling you to go be a martial artist like I am, quote unquote. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm learn how to protect yourself. If you're in a city, in a country where you're able to purchase firearms, purchase a firearm, learn how to use it. Teach these skills to your sons so that they can protect their sisters and their future wives. Learn how to protect yourself and your family. So that's very important. That's number one. Well, number two. Number three is you need to be confident. The generals, Napoleon, despite being faced with complete uncertainty, was still confident that he could do the job, and that's what led his men to victory. I believe it's Julius Caesar where he burnt the bridge. And he said to the men, that's it, you have to fight because there's nothing telling you to go back. Of course, he knew it was, I think, like 200-300 men. They were scared for their lives. They were outnumbered, they were starving, they were hungry. But Julius had that confidence in him that led his men to victory. If he had gone, guys, I don't think it's a good idea, the men would shit themselves and then run off. And they would have never have won that battle. Confidence can sometimes be the difference between life or death if you make it or not. When I spoke about the video in chastity and appearance on oneself, one thing that is clear, the way that you carry yourself, I'll say this again, the way that you carry yourself is exceptionally important in providing a first appearance. Because 90%, the first 10 seconds of a first appearance, 90% of that is body language and how you carry yourself. Again, would I go to a wedding dressed in a fighting shirt and some joggers and not wearing any socks? No. I would dress myself accordingly. If I'm hunched over like this, talking to you guys, like this, does this portray confidence? No. You stand, you sit confidently, you sit up straight, you stand straight, you keep yourself with high regard. Because confidence can get you out of a lot of problems. A lot of problems. So be confident, that's number three. Number four, you have to have a good relation. Technically, this should be actually number one. You should have a good relationship with the Lord. There was a statistic saying that that was bred down basically to mothers, fathers, mothers, and children. And it said, what are the chances that the family turns to religion? And I think it was if the father's religious, there was an 83% chance that the whole family would come to religion. Whereas if it was the mother, it was like 20%, and whereas if it was the children, it was like 2%. So already by having a good relationship, a continuous relationship with the Lord, you already have an 81% chance higher than your children to bring them to sainthood, because that's the goal. Bring them to sainthood. You can't do that if you don't go to church, if you don't have a good relationship with the Lord. It doesn't work. So that's very important. You must, this is number 5, you must have self-control. You must have self-restraint. This is important because it teaches your kids about discipline. If you're consumed with vices and addiction, and you tell your children not to do something that you're currently doing, an undisciplined man, I would argue, I wouldn't say is a man at all. I would say he's a very weak man that cannot control his own urges. You get a lot of times of these red pill guys, and a lot of people nowadays. And I don't want to bash on them, but they go around saying the peak is that when you're young, you should go around sleeping with women. That you should go around sleeping with as many women as you can because it's the good thing to do, it's the right thing to do. It's not the case. You shouldn't be doing that because it just shows the lack of restraint and self-control that you have. That you have to, every single weekend, find a woman. You can't go one weekend without gooning. One weekend. How do you expect your sons and your daughters to respect you? And my question is this: how is this going to affect your relationship with your future wife? Are you going to become snappy, rude, and arrogant, abusive even, to your wife if you guys don't have sex for 1 week? It's going to happen. If she's on her period, can't do it. If she's injured, can't do it. All sorts of reasons. How are you going to react if you're snappy and angry, and then you take it out on your wife? The kids see that you abuse your own wife and their mother, and then you end up abusing the kids. You're a weak man. Abusive fathers are weak men, uncontrolled, undisciplined, and have no restraint and self-control. And this is what men are today. And I agree. I'm not a saint by any regards. I struggle with things all the time. I'm not going to sit there and go, guys, I'm the ideal man, because I'm not. Because an ideal man is, to your own regard, it could be someone completely different. It could be some army veteran who's 6'4", jacked with muscles, and goes to the local Baptist church. It could be me, who strives to have the best relationship with the Lord, can protect himself, and hopes to provide for his family one day. It could just be like your dad. Like, I aim to be like my dad, who provides and who take care of the kids, who took care of us, who took care of my family, and allowed me to have all of this. But the weakened man, the man with no discipline, no self-control, no restraint, no nothing, that is the weakest man. That is what leads weak fathers to run away to catch the cigarettes, buy cigarettes or milk and never come back. To abuse their children, abuse their wives. An abusive father is an evil person, It's a terrible thing to abuse your children. It's a terrible thing. So, being a man is this. You must understand your weaknesses and addictions and fix them. You must have a good relationship with the Lord. You must lead your children to sainthood. You must be able to protect yourself and your family. And you also must be self-disciplined. You must have discipline. Without discipline, a nation dies. Why is an army so effective? Because they're disciplined in what they do. If the generals go, all right, guys, do whatever you want, don't care, I guarantee by 2 weeks the army will collapse. But the army is good because they are disciplined. They do the same thing. They stick to the same routine. They keep track of what they do. Why? What makes or breaks a fighter in fight camp? If he's disciplined or not. If he hasn't trained, he eats terribly, misses weight, he's never going to win the fight. But if he's disciplined, well-trained, takes care of himself, eats well, shows up to every training session knowing that it could be his last before his fight, the chances of winning are phenomenally higher. So, again, this sort of topic, I could go on for hours and hours and hours. I most likely will make multiple parts to this because it's such a vast subject to talk about. But again, this is what makes a man a man. This is how you can be a man. It takes time. Don't expect that you watch this video, you go, all right, guys, I'm a man now. No, it takes time. It took me years. It still takes me years. I'm still always improving. I never stop. I always try to be the best man I can be. And I always know that there's more and more and more things to do, more and more things to improve on. So, I will leave you with this. Go to church. Bring your family to sainthood. And do it by any means possible. God bless you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Next weekend, I will be doing another video because I have time, I believe. No, I will be in Czech Republic. So I will not be doing another video. I might bring this little microphone with me in the Czech forest. I think I will do it in the Czech forest if I have time. If I don't, then don't expect a video. But if I have time, then expect a video in the beautiful Czech forest. God bless you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Train, eat well, be disciplined, and strive to be the best fathers you can be. And it's okay to make mistakes. Failure. Better to fail than to never have tried. Ciao.